Elliot, how's it going over there, mate? Everybody sort of semi-locked down, or is it pretty free? And how is the feeling ahead of Sunday's game?
Yeah, it's been an interesting couple of days, but the feeling's really good. We've got a job to do, and we've got to redeem ourselves for the performance of last week as well. So there's a fair bit of excitement within the group, but moving around, it feels pretty normal. Pretty much gone into state restrictions over here, so we're allowed to walk around. The only thing you have to do is wear masks inside. But other than that, it's actually been pretty good. It feels like we've transitioned pretty well.
What about yourself? You've had a couple of games back now. Are you closing in on sort of 100% Elliot Yeo, or are you still working towards that?
Oh, still working towards that. Yeah, it's pretty difficult to go from 0 to 100 pretty quick. But yeah, it's for me. It'll always be a slow build towards probably the back end of the season. I probably had a good solid block of 4 weeks of training underneath my belt, and then going into games. So still got plenty to work on, and still have plenty left to give as well. So just got to try and manage it and look after it as best as possible.
So Elliot, when obviously the lower game time that you've been playing, is that more because you haven't had a pre-season and a tank, or is it about protecting your groin and trying to manage the risk a bit as well?
Oh, a bit of everything, yeah. Look, it's probably a bit of both, but probably more towards the groin and managing coming back. It's one of those injuries where you've got to be very careful and very diligent, and it can always come back, and it could flare up again. So I've got to be very careful with what I do, and monitor all my loads and my training in order to try and manage it as best as possible. So for me, look, I'd probably say a majority of it is just that management. It's a managed load.
And has it been pulling up? Is it normal to get a bit of soreness, or how has it been pulling up now you've played a good month of footy?
Yeah, it's been pulling up really well. I can't really complain at the moment. Sure, you get your soreness, and you might feel sore after a day or two after a game or training, but it's all manageable. And it's nowhere near the levels that I was at previously from previous months ago and this time last year. So I can't complain. I'm still able to train and play games of football. And when I'm playing out there, I don't really feel it too much. It's generally delayed sort of effects afterwards that get me. But as I said before, it's manageable.
Do you think you'll get back to your normal end time this season, or will that be something that you're more looking towards next year, that you'll build it back up to normal?
I'd like to try and get towards that point towards the end of the season, but it all depends on how my body's holding up at that stage, and where things are at. So, yeah, look, you'd like to try and aspire to get to 100% game time, but at this stage it's too early to say.
And you're such a competitive beast, so what's it like for you being on the sideline sometimes, where no doubt you just want to get back on there, but the medicos are probably like, oh, we have to give you a few minutes here?
Yeah, it gets pretty frustrating on the bench. I'm quite impatient sometimes, and I'm not one to sit still too much. And sitting on the bench for an extended period of time isn't ideal for me. But I understand that it's the best thing for myself and my body at the moment. So yeah, look, it is frustrating, and you would like to go out there and get in towards the contest a bit more. But yeah, I guess it's just where I'm at the moment, and I just have to try and take it in my stride as much as possible.
When you're playing against a guy like Bont last week, and normally, you'd go toe-to-toe for the whole game, but were you able to do that? How long were you able to go with him for, and how frustrating is it that you can't do what you can normally do, where you'd normally be able to sort of stick with him and guys like him and Fifey, and you're normally in that class?
Yeah, it does suck. Obviously, you want to try and help the team out as much as you can, but there's times there and there's stints on the bench where I'm sitting on there for long periods of time, and it does get frustrating. But as I said before, that's just how it is at the moment, and I just have to sort of manage those frustrations as much as I can on the bench. And even though the strength and conditioning staff might cop a few words here and there, it's I understand that they're doing it for the right reasons, and things sort of happen in the heat of the moment. But you can't sort of get too hung up on that.
Elliot, what did you make of the midfield as a whole last week? Obviously, on paper, full strength, you're all there, and a pretty poor result in terms of a lot of the numbers that came out of it.
Oh, extremely poor result. But look, we've we've done our review. We know where we let ourselves down, and we'd be looking to rectify that going to the game this week down in Geelong against Sydney. So they're playing some really good football at the moment. They threw it up to Port Adelaide last week, so it's going to be a tough game, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
Having had a run together last week, will that help, given a couple have obviously missed a lot of the season?
Yeah, absolutely. You're always going to be better for the run. We haven't probably played all of us together in almost a year, so yeah, definitely better for the run. And as I said before, we know where we went down, we know where we let ourselves down, so we'll be looking to rectify that come game day.
Over the past 3 weeks, you've shared the midfield with Luke Edwards. What have you made of his performances and his development as a footballer?
Yeah, he looks like a pretty good type. He seems to have a lot of composure with the football when he does have it. So look, yeah, I think he's going to be a really good player for us, and he's got a lot of attributes that he's brought to the team already. So for a player that's played a couple games, he seems pretty composed with the football in hand, and especially when we played Richmond, who are reigning premiers and a really good team. Played a really good game of football. So I thought he was a bit stiff to miss out on the Rising Star nod, but I guess it is what it is. So, but look, happy to have him on board, and look, he's going to. I think he'll be a really good player for us.
And just also on Liam Ryan going out of the side, it's a big kind of gap for Jermaine Jones to fill. What have you made of his progress this year coming to the club? And I think he's played 10 games already.
JJ's been playing some good football, even though he's been starting on the bench a lot and coming in as that sub. He's had a real impact for us. He provides a lot of dangerous sort of plays to us, and an element of surprise as well for the opposition. So he's a dangerous player. I'd hate to play on him, that's for sure, because he can do some pretty skillful things, and we obviously. Missed that as well at stages on the weekend. So, whether or not he'll get the nod, we'll have to wait and see. But, it'd be good to have him back in.
And just the stadium that you guys are playing at this week at Virginia Park, you guys have just got such a bad record there. What's it like as a player going to a venue where I guess it's just all bad memories?
Look, I don't really think about it too much. I don't... Bad memories? No, not really. We just haven't played our best football down there, and we know why we haven't. I guess the thing is that we've got to try and implement, things in place in order to play good football down there, and we're trying that. We've got a really good opportunity this week against the Swans to do that. So, looking forward to the challenge, and looking forward to, hopefully changing that around.